Have I left anybody out? Good. Well, Scott didn't put anybody else on here, man. I'll start saying as our guest speaker this morning, who it's going to be, but they're not guests anymore. Right. They're part of the Hutto family, and we're sure glad to have them as part of our family. We've got Temple College and TSTC this morning. We got Dr. Daniel Spencer with Temple College. We got Rob Wolfer, I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong.
You got close enough.
Okay, for TSTC. So we're going to start off with Dr. Daniel Spencer. And let's give them a round of applause. They've done a lot of work to get here just as well as we have. So welcome our new family members.
Well, thank you, and as always, we're excited to be here. Dr. Killian couldn't have kind of given us a great segue, because as he's packed things up and stirred up the dust, we're moving in and before the dust settles and trying to get up and going. It's a little unusual for a college to come together and try to do some of the things that we have to do before fall semester, but we're going great guns and we're used to and caught up in the energy that y'all have. And so what we thought we would do today is really get together and show you some of the work, talk about some of the things that we've got going on, and really kind of give you that sense of what we're going to be starting to lay out here as fall approaches. What I'd like to do real quickly before I start is just to introduce a few people from Temple College that I have with me. I've got Aaron Spencer, Director of our Communications Department. I've got Robin Ray, who is working on some special projects for Dr. Barron and really does a lot of different things behind the scenes for the college. I've got Gracie Connors, who's our Director of Business Training and Continuing Ed. Kathy Bradner is here. And Larissa is part of the business training as well. And so they're going to go ahead and be part of the presentation, and then we'll turn it over to TSTC and give you what they're doing. Like I said, as far as expectations, we're trying to get the expectations and communicate with the community and find out what their expectations are. What Temple College is going to bring is the general core education. That's the history, English, math courses that are usually general transfer that makes the basic foundation of any degree plan that we have. We'll have the academic courses for TSTC that support their programs and their technical skill training. That'll include the developmental education if the students aren't quite prepared or need a little bit math supplement to get up to speed to kick those programs off. We'll be working with them to kind of give them the skills they need. We'll meet with the education community. Like I said, typically for a college to put in a full program, it meets with the community. They talk about things. They do a needs assessment, and we're trying to do that as we kind of do it on the fly, so to speak, before we can get into fall semester. So we're kind of shooting at stars and trying to see what the community has as we talk to folks, put those courses online. And one thing that's nice about TSTC and Temple College is we do have some flexibility, so we can kind of do things on the fly like that. Build support infrastructure, both technical and academic courses. What Veterans Hill provides for both colleges is not an opportunity to develop a student base. It also helps us to kind of work on policies, structures, bring into both colleges, because we get systems that are different together, and develop those systems and processes so that by the time the new building's online, we can go ahead and move in there and just keep that momentum going. So those are kind of the expectations. Again, if you have any types of input that you can give both the personnel at both colleges and institutions, please drop by Veterans Hill, talk to our people that will be out in the community, and let us know. You may get some survey materials, those needs assessments through the chamber or wherever the best communication pathways are, and so fill those out and let us know, because it's very important in developing that structure of what we need to serve the community. Programs, like I said, core academics. We've got English, math, and history that we're kind of trying to put together and roll out. We've got the developmental ed in math and reading, writing. Technical academic courses, Ron and Rob will talk about the programs they're putting in, and those are technical technical courses, business English, and computer systems courses that will support their certificate programs. And then, of course, we have e-learning, virtual College of Texas programs, dual credit, that we're already have online at the high school and working with the community to deliver already. E-learning and virtual College of Texas can really literally bring so much depth to a program that we can tap into anything, and you can do it right from the privacy of your own home or get the support from the center. Staffing, we're working on a director of center development for the Hutto Center, specifically to look at all the logistics, work with the community, present to community and civic organizations, do part of that needs assessment, and they'll be in charge of really kind of putting the nuts and bolts together on that. We'll have other support personnel here as well in both institutions, and those will be recruiters, financial aid people, all of the typical support that we need to get the students enrolled, help them to be successful. Okay?
For those of you I don't know, my name is Erin Spencer. I'm the Director of College Communications for Temple College, and I'm in charge of all the community events. So we just wanted to highlight a few places that we will be out and about in y'all's community, so that if you have questions and you can't get to Veterans Hill, you might have an idea of where else you might be able to find us. First of all, we will be at the Hutto 100 celebration. We have a booth. TSTC has a trailer that they're going to have, so you should be, we should be pretty visible, not hard to find. We will be able to answer kind of questions. TSTC's trailer actually has computers, so if you have anybody or you yourself want to go ahead and apply, we can get your application started, we can get your financial aid application started, and then get you guys set so that Monday morning when Veterans Hill is open again, you guys can go in and start the next steps of your process, your advising, testing, kind of getting all those things scheduled. So we will be there for that. As Tom also mentioned for us, we will be doing a ribbon cutting at Veterans Hill on August 10th. We hope everybody in the community comes out. We're really excited to kind of kick off our academic offerings here in Hutto. It'll be at 11 a.m. So if you guys want to go ahead and mark your calendars for that, we'll definitely love to see you all out there. We do have a few other things. I know there's in your chairs there's a flyer about some classes that will be offered by our Business and Community Education Division. I'll let them kind of inform you about those, but also there's dates on those as well, so please look at that before you leave. And does anybody have any questions, or if you have any other ideas, or there's anything else going on that you would like us to be at, please don't hesitate to give the college a call and let us know. We'll try to make arrangements to meet those needs as we see them. So, I'm going to turn it over to Gracie and let her tell you about it.
I'm Gracie Connor, Business and Community Education. We're the workforce development side of the school. So any of you that have businesses that you need training in, we're the ones you want to talk to. We have most of the classes in our 2 downtown facilities, but we are bringing additional courses into Hutto and Taylor all the time. We train between 700 and 1,200 per quarter. We don't operate on a semester basis. If you want something done and you need it next week, we can make it happen. And they can be anywhere from 8-hour classes over 2 or 3 days to over 300 hours of class. Some of the people that we have worked with in customization classes, the ones I was talking to is more like open enrollment, but the customized contract classes, if somebody comes to us and wants to design a specific class, maybe an Excel class, but you need it designed specifically for your business, we can do that as well. And there's a list of some of the entities that we have been working with in this area as well as in Temple. And we will have a presence in the new facility with Fred and others from TSTC. Some of the skills, just to give you an idea of some of the things that we can do, sometimes people think of continuing ed as enrichment or leisure activities, and that is not what we do. We are ordered by the state of Texas to do workforce training. We have entities in most of these locations that work with Temple Parks and Hutto Parks. All these places have other entities to help with the sports activities and the leisure activities. So we are very focused on very high-level training. You see some names here that are very important to us. We're bringing Franklin Covey, Dale Carnegie, DDI does leadership type classes. And a lot of our work started out years ago when I started with the College, we were doing a lot of MS Office type training. We've added to that. There's a lot of Adobe training and things like that as well. So almost anything you come up with in the computer area, we can get training for. QuickBooks will be coming to Hutto, directly to Hutto. I have a gentleman hired, and he said give me until the 10th of August, and after that I can be there. So that's why there's not an exact date on there. We're going to get together with Scott and Aaron and get exact dates and times. And if you have input as to, I really want it taught during the day, let us know that. Or if you need it as an evening class, we can do that. It doesn't matter. We can break it. Normally we break up QuickBooks into 3 4-hour sessions once a week so that your staff can easily get there. We've also had training in welding and machining. Lots of lean manufacturing, lean office training. Our office even did lean office, and it really helps find ways to get things done faster and more efficiently. We have a lot of HR training, payroll training. We have a real estate program. Each class takes 2 weeks, and at the end of 5 programs they can be working in the real estate business. Language communications, allied health has become a very strong part of our program. We are bringing pharmacy tech into Hutto in the fall. Phlebotomy, certified nurse aide, clinical medical assisting, all those are possibilities as well. And I know that we're a very strong medical area, and I think this area is moving that way as well. Here's some of the partners that we have that we work with: TSTC, TNAC, DDI, Dale Carnegie, SHRM, which is the HR element, and we are one of the major trainers in this area. From San Antonio to Dallas, is that right?
Or APA.
Okay, APA, and for SHRM,
It's now from Round Rock.
Round Dallas to Dallas. Okay. So come see us. If we're not the appropriate one, we'll definitely get in touch with us for. So the main thing that we need for those of you that need workforce training is, what do you need now? What might you need in 18 months? And what might you need in 3 years? And we'll get it ready for you. Any questions? Aaron and Scott are meeting with us this morning, so any of us from TC, TSTC, or the EDC can help you in this area. And the other brochure that you have in your area is the Health Information Technology Grant. And this is something we're doing with Austin Community College and Dallas Community College up the I-35 corridor. These classes are essentially free because the course costs $25 per module, and most of them have anywhere from 5 to 8 modules. There's 6 different roles that you can choose from, and if you complete your course and it's all online, if you complete it within 6 months, you get a $200 stipend. So, and we also have small business skills available for any companies under 100. So if you have training that you'd like to do for one or many, let us know, and there are funds available for that as well through the Texas Workforce Commission. Questions?
Thank you very much. I know Dr. Stuckley's been here on a couple of occasions, and I'm sure he's characterized for y'all the level of excitement that we have about this project. But Gary, let me be the one to say today how excited I am that we're now considered part of the Hutto family. We appreciate that. We appreciate this opportunity. Representative Gonzalez, we can't thank you enough again for the legislative support that this project has received. You know, you mentioned the cooperation and the spirit of cooperation. TSTC's been involved in partnerships for many years, but let me tell you that this is absolutely the best partnership collaboration that we have ever been involved with. It should serve as a model for not just the state of Texas, but for the nation. What we in higher education have a tendency to do is kind of stake out our turf. That's never been the case with this. All entities involved, from Mr. Avery, from the Avery family, and that participation, the openness and the welcomeness that Temple College has extended to us, the city of Hutto, the county, the Economic Development Corporation. There's multiple partners in this that have all come together and we have not seen at any point anybody try to stake out any turf of what's mine and what's yours. I think we're all in this, and we see this as a what's ours, and what's good for all of us. What's good for all of us is good for one of us. So we appreciate that. We're glad to be part of this. Glad to be part of this family. I want to introduce a couple of folks too from TSTC that are here with us too. Some that you may know and some that you're going to get to know more as we go forward. But Ron Sanders is our Vice President of Instruction at Waco. Mr. Fred Cozane, most of you probably know Fred. Fred's been down here working the EWCHEC partnership for quite some time. And then Jeff Pipe. Where'd Jeff go? Jeff is our Enrollment Services Coordinator for TSTC. Will be at EWCHEC. Is down here all the time now. He's making rounds. He may have seen some of you coming around town. If not, he'll probably be by in the next few weeks to visit with you. Thought I'd give you just a little bit of an update on some of the progress that's been made, and then I'll let Mr. Sanders cover some of the instructional programs. The land purchase agreement and the construction project was approved back in June by the Higher Education Coordinating Board. There's some of these, we had several boxes after the election that we still had to get checked. The Coordinating Board approved that back in June, so that's one box checked. Staff met this past Monday, with the Bond Review Board in a planning session. We received a call yesterday back from the Bond Review Board that says you don't need to come back for the actual meeting. That's a good sign when they tell you don't need to come back, because that means they don't have any more questions for you. So we anticipate, that's tomorrow I believe, that they'll actually be meeting, so we anticipate receiving that approval tomorrow, which will allow us to begin to issue and sell those bonds in August. So we should be on track with that. The third piece of that is the architect for the project. We received 45 proposals from our RFP for a construction architect. They have gone through the process of selection. They interviewed 4 finalists for that project last week down here. Scott, I think, actually in here, didn't we? And so we're currently in final negotiations with an architect for that project. I am told, and we're hopeful that negotiation will be completed by next week and be able to make an announcement on that architect within the next few weeks. So that's kind of an update on those boxes that we needed to get checked afterwards to make this happen. Any particular questions about that? And I'm going to let Mr. Sanders talk about the instructional programs that we're going to begin with and what they'll involve to. But any questions for me before I do that? Okay, very good. Again, let me tell you thank you, and we are so excited about this project. And I've said this before. I'm sure Dr. Stuckley has said it when he's been here, but this project represents the greatest opportunity for growth for Texas State Technical College of any of our locations across the state of Texas. And I think that's, besides the level of cooperation and the spirit of cooperation and the friendships that we've developed through this process, that makes this an extremely exciting project for us. So I don't think we can say that enough. We are in this, and I think it's important for y'all, for y'all to know that we're in it, and we're in it for the long haul. So, Ron, you want to?
Let me echo what Rob said, and said, in fact, we are excited to be here. And you already know I'm Ron Sanders, so we'll skip that slide and move on. At TSTC-Waco, we have a lot of things going on. You see over 100 degrees and certificates that we offer in a lot of different areas. And of course, so the question has to be, well, how did we decide what to bring here? I can tell you that when the president told me end of May, beginning of June, that he wanted 6 certificates down here at the end of August, I became even more excited than I was before. And I mean very, very excited. So, Fred was excited too. I can see him excited on his face. Not much hair left to lose, is there, Fred? So we are excited, but we had to make a decision. And the question is, how did we decide what we were going to bring? Well, we have a sophisticated decision support system at TSTC-Waco, and we're very careful about these kinds of things. My personal favorite is the Magic 8 Ball. But honestly, there is, as you know, no matter how much data you gather, a certain amount of every decision is kind of like this, right? I mean, at some point you have to make a decision. We did go through the labor market information. Fred and I did that pretty heavily. We looked at the growth potential for different kinds of programs. We looked at how those programs might work together. I used a buzzword, see, synergy, I know. But we looked at how those programs, some of those programs might work together. We looked at capabilities of staff on hand. Fred's an electronics instructor, so you know you always have somebody like that hanging around. It's not a bad idea to use that capability. Visibility of those programs, the cost of those programs, and the result of all of that was that we decided some basic decisions. We would start with certificates and move to the associate degree later. There's really good reasons for that. We are equipment heavy. We use huge amounts of equipment in everything that we do. And so it's very important for us to try to build that a little bit at a time as we go through. We're focusing on quality, and so it's really important to me that we replicate here what we do in Waco. We have a great reputation for quality, and that's one of the most important things to us, and we have no intention whatsoever of ever compromising that. So we want to make sure that what we do here is as close as possible to what we do in Waco. And then as much bread and butter as possible. In other words, I need programs that I can get students into that will be popular, that students will want to come to. Because when it comes right down to it, we'll have to pay for the building. So, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is what we've got. You've got a handout that shows some more details. Air conditioning and refrigeration, the SCH, the semester credit hours. The actual contact hours on this is a lot higher because we have a lot of lab time involved in everything that we do. But those are the programs that we're starting with. Some of these programs go pretty well together. The welding program right now will stay in Taylor because that's where the facility is that can handle that. But you see these other things we're opening up. I think these will do well. Each of these things did in fact show a need in rural capital and capital areas. And so we're looking for those things as well. And these things, of course, once again, as we talked about, and the future is wide open. We're going to be moving into associate degrees, and we'll be bringing more programs as we build up. So that's sort of a basic overview, and I would welcome any questions that you might have.
Hey, Ron.
Yes.
This may be a question for Ron. Can you talk about the campus development and how that's gonna work, and sort of timelines for that, and how contractors will be chosen? I see Chuck Blake's here.
Scott, to be honest with you, I don't know the timeline for that. I expect, though, that once we make an announcement on the architect, that we will also formalize what that project plan is. There is one, but if I told you what it was, I'd be making it up on the fly this morning because I honestly don't know. But I'm sure that once we make that announcement with the architect, we'll formalize that whole project plan and timeline, and be glad to make that available to you or at the next meeting or however we'll do it. Sorry, I don't have that this morning. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, in reference to your course curriculum, do you have a student projection?
Yes, we do. But the student projection used more of the decision support systems that I outlined than most of the other things that we did. We do have a student projection, and really the student projection goes along with the number of students we need to make the economics of the situation work. We are so tight in our time frames here. I do not think we're going to make, my own personal opinion, I don't think we're probably going to make our first student predictions. We are opening up with room for 20 students in each of those programs. And if we get anywhere near 20 students for each of those programs, I'll be a very happy person. Very, very happy person. But I think that's going to grow over time. We'll have the opportunity, and we have the capability to expand what we offer and to expand the times that we offer it as we go along. But 20 students is what we have capacity for at the beginning. That's assuming we get all of our faculty hired, which we're still working on.
One more follow-up
Yes.
question. Are you doing any mass communications to convey the message to the students?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I know that our marketing and communications parts have been working together, so I'll let Aaron answer.
We have been, Jan Osborne is the marketing director for TSTC. They have done several mailings. There are ads running in both Taylor-Hutto paper. We have been interviewed and talking with Community Impact, so we were also using that media source. Part of it is we've just recently nailed down these courses and exactly how some of it's going to work together. So as we move forward, there will be more. Again, that's part of the reason why we thought it was so important to be part of the Hutto 100 celebration, is to personally be out there telling you. So we'll be using, like I said, several venues, everything from community events, media outlets, emails, mass mailing. I'm sure we're going to be getting with the EDC and chambers to see if there's a way to mail things out through their systems. We've kind of talked about all of these possibilities. So if you haven't seen it already, there's more to come, but we have been doing, like I said, mass mailings, ads, your typical promotional.
When do classes start?
Classes start the 29th, August 29th. Any other questions? Okay.
I want to thank everybody for coming this morning. I see some new faces, and welcome. We hope to see y'all back. Let's everybody be blessed today and go out there and do the best they can today, and y'all have a good day. Thank you.